So today's guest with me on Don't Shoot the Messenger is Bobby Sahota. We'll kind of start off with prospecting, which is one of my most favourite topics. How different was prospecting when you started? Because you started at a bank, didn't you?
You get them in, like quantity.
Yeah.
And the whole world of financial advice has changed. It's not, you've got to connect, you've got to do the job properly, get them in, quick.
Churn them in and
churn them in
through.
and you churn them out. It's about how can you make a difference to their lives, the advisor as well, because there's lots of advisors around, isn't there now? Clients have choice.
So you have to have trust in the person you're sitting with, the advisor. You have to have trust in the company.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to have trust in the, in ultimately the investments or the products. You're pretty prolific. Do you remember the first post you put out?
If you're picking up that phone with confidence, the customer client can sense that as well.
Yeah. So today's guest with me on Don't Shoot the Messenger is Bobby Sahota. A lot of you guys will probably recognise Bobby from her LinkedIn profile and her various other jaunts that we'll go into shortly. But Bobby for me really embodies what it means to be a value-driven, client-focused advisor, and she's relentlessly committed to excellence in what she's done, and she's brought that into all of what she's joined us over at Hoxton. So Bobby's a wealth manager. She joined us this year on a consultancy basis to help us grow out our Birmingham office and our Birmingham business, which is going well so far. And with over 2 decades of experience in the profession, she's managed £160 million of AUM. She's been named one of the UK's top-rated IFAs by The Times and vouched for 6 years running, which is very, very good, and earned multiple IFA of the Year accolades. But beyond this, she's a mentor, marathon runner, mountain climber, and she's even done a bit of charity boxing as well, which is great. And Bobby's journey for me embodies one of, resilience, purpose and passion. She's really, really passionate about financial advice. She was really passionate about financial advice before she joined Hoxton, and she's brought that into the Birmingham office. And, I'm really excited to have her here with us today to discuss, lifestyle financial planning, helping clients, and most importantly, how she's built her career so far and what she's done, and hopefully some lessons that you can take from this as well, because I've certainly learnt a lot since I've been working with Bobby on areas that I had no idea even existed. So Bobby, believe it or not, you've obviously been in the industry for 20 years. So we'll kind of start off with prospecting, which is one of my most favourite topics. How different was prospecting when you started? Because you started at a bank, didn't you?
Yeah, I started the West Brom Building Society. I was like 20 at the time. It was so different. It was literally bums on seats.
Yeah.
Just get them in, like quantity. I actually remember working with we used to have, it was the times where there were like sales advisors, weren't there? I mean, I used to work with like 3 advisors in a branch. Used to have one that was like top advisor, but used to have used to go and see a client. Well, I wouldn't say a client, it was a customer, because it was very transactional at the time.
Yeah.
It was all kind of sell a product.
Yeah,
it
move
wasn't
on.
about And I remember when I first started, it'd be like, ring through, get the client in and just keep going. And I was like, he's already got one in. And he had like 3 customers in 3 different offices, and he was just like one after the, and he'd be like, get them a tea and get them in the office. And it was like that. We used to be on the phones, and it would be like a bit of a competition. Just get, how many can you get in an hour?
Yeah.
It was things like that. It was fun, and how is it different to now? It's completely different.
Yeah.
And the whole world of financial advice has changed. It's not. You've got to connect, you've got to do the job properly, you've got to have the right qualifications. I can't remember if they had qualifications at the time when I started, but it was about, you sell a product.
Yeah.
I remember it was like the Aviva with profits, inflation-proof guarantees, these double option bonds, and that's what you used to do. You used to pick up the phone and you'd ring up a building society customer, you'd see that they've got money in the account and go, right, okay, you've got this is earning, well, interest rates were right at the time, this is earning 5%. come and see our advisor. He can get you 8%. So that's what it was like. So, it was mass, get them in, quick.
Churn them in and
churn them in
through.
and he'd churn them out. But that's what it was like, wasn't it? That was the culture.
Yeah.
And very different now.
Very different now.
Very different. And in terms of, I think the whole industry, clients are more aware. There's people need to add value. That's the difference. It's not about, what interest rate can you get for this client. It's about how can you make a difference to their lives. How are you different to any other advisor as well? Because there's lots of advisors around, isn't there now? Clients have choice. I think there wasn't that awareness then. It was you trusted people in the bank or building society because you see the same faces every day. And if they told you to go and see the advisor, you would.
Yeah.
So the trust was built because it was people coming in, day out. We didn't have social media. We didn't have LinkedIn. None of that existed. Now clients will research you. I've had it in the past. I've had meetings with new clients, and probably before the meeting, they'll look on your profile.
Yeah.
So the world is very, very different to what it was.
It is, isn't it? And I think it's about utilising the tools as well, isn't it? It's like so I started off my career as a business development manager in financial advice. I started off my career as an accountant before that, but I had never done any calling. I had never done any kind of selling before. I think the most close I came to speaking to a client was when I was trying to sell my tax return services that I was doing on the side when I was an accountant, and I cold called an a hairdresser's, and see if they wanted to do any of their tax returns, and they wondered what I was thinking of, and then I hung up. But what I think, I think prospecting has evolved a lot in terms of, what you're actually trying to get them there for. But actually, I think the kind of, the key concepts of prospecting, which is, is trust.
Oh, 100%.
People have to trust you. And I think there's 3 areas that they have to trust. It's still very much the same. So you have to have trust in the person you're sitting with, the advisor. You have to have trust in the company.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to have trust in the, in ultimately the investments or the products or whatever that they're going to place your funds in. If you don't have that level of trust, it's just a complete non-starter from the beginning. And whereas you were saying before, at the bank, you used to roll people in, and because it was part of the bank, you automatically trusted them. That relationship was already there. Now we're definitely seeing people do it more on social media, build up a presence, try and get their brand out there, and utilize all these fantastic tools. And if I was looking at starting prospecting now from scratch, I don't know about you, but it would definitely be to try and build up that trust as early as possible. And a great way to do that, obviously, is online and through social media. And really taking that, but also realising it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, you're pretty prolific. Do you remember the first post you put out?
Do I remember the first post? I can't remember, actually. It's been... Do you?
Yeah, I don't remember the first post I put out. I don't. But do you remember kind of how many likes you got?
I remember how nervous I was.
Yeah,
I was just like, nobody's liked this post. Probably had maybe about 3 likes. And I was like, what? No, I think it must have been a company post that I've just returned.
Yeah, okay.
That's what it was. I was like, okay,
Repost.
I need to start this. Yeah, and it was just like, who cares about what's happening in the markets? Everybody does this. But just going back in terms of, you said about building trust.
Yeah.
I also do think it comes from the advisor. If you genuinely believe what you are doing, because when I used to pick up the phone to customers at the bank, I believed that what we were offering them, they were going to get.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And that shows.
Yeah.
If you're picking up that phone with confidence, the customer client can sense that as well. Yeah. And I think that goes back to advisors as well in terms of trust. If you trust in your own ability and you're confident in what you are doing, the client will pick that up. So
100%.
Trust is all the way through that journey, but you've got to have that belief and the trust in yourself to then, allow that client to feel it as well and feel comfortable.
Yeah.
It's a two-way thing.
It comes down to one of those. It comes down to like one of the pillars of success, and I think one of the pillars of success, or a big pillar of success for me, is you've got to be passionate about what you do. Like, there is no point in you becoming a financial planner or a financial advisor if you have zero interest in doing it.
Yeah.
If you're just doing it because you just need a job,
Yeah.
you are never going to be truly successful at it. Whereas what you said, it's quite clear that you're very passionate about what you do. As we said before, you really like it. You probably wake up thinking about different things to do with financial
It's like what you
planning.
help people.
Yeah.
I think that's the key thing. And when I've like spoken to people in the past, and people early on in the career, and you ask them, why do you want to become a financial advisor? And the first answer is, I actually think, it's quite critical.
Yeah.
In terms of, are they going to make it or not?
Yeah, probably right.
And I do think if you genuinely are out there because you want to help people, your success will follow.
Yeah.
Do the right thing. Know that you're doing. If you're able to go to sleep at night knowing that you've given the right advice, and you give the same advice to your parent, grandparent, family member, then you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So I think, doing the right thing and wanting to help people is massive.
Yeah, is definitely massive, and that passion definitely seeps through when you're speaking to people, like we said, in building up the trust. And that's you can't teach that. That's not something that you can just learn. You've either got it or you haven't. So let's kind of let's take a step back. So if Bobby Sahota was to start again as a financial planner today, you had no clients, you weren't working in the bank, you were starting off as an independent financial advisor, what are the things that you would do to start building up your client bank?
Pick up the phone.
Pick up the phone.
Pick up the
And call who?
phone. Existing. Do you mean if I knew nobody?
Yeah, if you was brand new to the industry.
Brand new to the industry. I think you'd have some things, whether it's your family, friends, somebody that you could start off with.
Yeah.
And if you do a good job for one person, that kind of builds out. But you've got to just put yourself out there and be resilient in expecting the no's. I remember when we used to pick up the phones and we used to okay, we're going to get no's. Let's count how many no's. You reverse the kind of stance on it and go, we're not going to count the yeses, we're going to count the no's. So you'd make more calls. So you've just got to do more of it. And if it means, go and speak to, I don't know, your family small or your friend circle small, go and speak to their friends, have that confidence, build it out. You've got to start from somewhere. And if you're not that confident, build the confidence from the people that are in your kind of inner circle, that there is like that bit of trust where they trust you to do that job. No one's going to have 10,000 followers to go and start talking about and you've got to build that up. But starting from somewhere, for me, if I was to start again, what worked for me was unbiased.
Okay.
When I started as an IFA, when I came out of the bank, building society, and paid for my own leads, and it was fruitful within 6 months. But when I went in, I had a structure. Yeah. So the first meeting was crucial. Yeah. And the biggest thing I think is not talking, listening.
100%.
If you can listen, your client is telling you what you want. You go in there and tell them what you can sell them or what you provide. They don't care. Yeah. They want, people love to hear the sound of their own voice, don't
Definitely.
They? So I feel listening builds a trust. That first successful meeting will take you a long way. Yeah. And it's that ripple effect. From one person, you do a good job. Don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think it's very interesting, isn't it, that when you start, and this is why I see people that so internationally, we obviously have some UK IFAs that try and come out here. So they've been reasonably successful in the UK, and then they come out here, but they don't seem to be able to get going. And one of the reasons why they can't seem to get going, I believe, is because they've lost that hunger to go out and put themselves out there. Like you said at the start, volume negates luck. the more of something you do, the luckier you become. 100%. It's a fact.
Yeah.
You know, you look at all successful athletes, you look at all generally successful people. They haven't just started doing it. They've been doing it for years and years and years and years, repetition after repetition after repetition after repetition. And if, you summed that up really well, which was, first off, go and put yourself outside your comfort zone and go and speak to as many people as you can and keep on doing it. Friends, family, circle. The other one is obviously online lead generation, which is fantastic. When I was starting and when you were starting, you couldn't do that. So that, unbiased, there's various other ones. I think Vouch4 offer a lead service as well. And there's other ones that people can log into as well, especially if you're in the UK. Internationally, again, a bit more difficult. There's nothing like that exists. But you can utilise LinkedIn and things like that to go and speak to people.
Also, I think... what I found in the past as well, when I've worked with other advisors, is not wasting any opportunity.
No.
Like, use that. Like, I know we had, where I worked in the past before, we had like an IHT, like a campaign thing.
Yeah.
And so we had loads of calls coming in. And sometimes it would just be, what's the IHT threshold? Yeah. But you've got to take that. And some people just answer the question, put the phone down,
and then move
wasted
on.
Opportunity. And I remember like quite a few times it happened where I got a call that was booked in for me, and it was booked in for an hour just for an introductory call. I knew within the first 5 minutes that this is, they just want the answer, right? But what I did is I knew I had that hour. So I'd kind of tell them a bit about myself, what I do, send them an email as a follow-up, and, these are all the different areas I can help with, and if you know anyone, et cetera, et cetera. I remember once, and I did that every time. I remember once I had a call randomly about 7 weeks after I'd spoken to a prospect who couldn't help at the time, and on my mobile, and I was like, been passed your number by this name. I didn't know who it was, pretended I knew who it was. And I was like, oh, yeah, thanks. Booked him and everything. He became a client. But when I searched back, it was the lead had come from, he said, oh, it's my friend from the pub. Lead had come from somebody that I just spent 10 more minutes with, just putting myself out there and telling them what I do. But that easily could have been, waste of time, because you don't need my service. Yeah. You don't know how many people that prospect will speak to. And people love it, don't they? Like saying, someone says, I'm looking for an advisor. They want to give somebody's details. People love to kind of say that they know someone. I know someone, here you go. And just, again, it's those little things, like you accumulate little bits, that will make you successful.
Definitely. And you've got to keep doing it. That's the thing. It's like, it's not a one-time thing. You just need to keep doing it, keep going. You said after 6 months, Unbiased started to become fruitful, all the leads that you were calling through. I mean, during that time, like you said, you would have spoken to some really good ones and you would have spoken to some not so good ones. I know, so we spend a lot on lead generation at Hoxton. We spend, 6 figures a month on that, pounds globally for our advisors to generate leads that come in. And there are some really bad ones. There are some people that don't have any clue why they've really clicked on the link or whatever. But that's just part and parcel of it. Yeah. And like you said, you give those people the due care and attention, and you keep on going, because
you don't spend the hour, but you spend 10, 15 minutes. Exactly. You've taken the time out of your day, so you might as well. You just never know who that person.
100%. And then as you get more, as you get further on in your career, maybe you do become a bit more selective.
You become more luckier as well, don't you?
But initially, you need something to build that momentum up, and it is all around building momentum, isn't it? It's like, it's like the rolling stone down the hill. It gathers speed as it goes down. Yeah. It takes a lot of inertia and effort to get that stone to start rolling, but once it's rolling, it's off. And again, I think people who are starting out in this profession really struggle with the amount and the amount of time and how long you need to stay focused on doing it for to actually become successful, because it's not going to happen in 12 months.
No, and I think they've got the qualification, that's it, I'm an advisor, and it's 100% not like that. I remember, again, when my first financial advisor role was when I was working at the West Brom Building Society. So we were tied to Aviva, and I did really well. And I thought at that time I was the best. I couldn't improve anymore, and because I knew nothing different. I remember then my biggest kind of learning was when I moved to the Nationwide Building Society, because that was my first kind of taster of a lifetime planner, and actually getting to know the whys of a client and the objectives and things like that. Never done that before, because it was all about, oh, they've got this money, just invest it, just invest. There wasn't any real financial planning, but I thought I was good because I was top advisor and I was doing all these like sales. Like in my mind, that's what I thought it was. I was just a product seller. Yeah. It's only, again, like I said, that bit, spending 2.5 years there, doing the role properly, then moving on. That's what made me successful as an IFA. Yeah. Because I'd learnt that bit, getting to find the why of why a client wants to kind of what their goals are and how I can help them, as opposed to pushing them a product. Yeah, and it's super important to do that, isn't it? It's like when you find the why, you can, you really double down on it. One other thing that you've done really well is, as well, since we've been working together, is obviously the events. So, what are the keys to putting on a great client event? Because I know a lot of people, that is a prospecting tool in itself. And, what are the kind of things from start to finish that you go through when trying to, put these on? I remember, you have a very high level of attention to detail, the Hoxton lanyards and all the rest of this stuff, which is great, and the cookies and, all the other stuff that you do. But again, that is a fantastic way to generate clients. I know we, or to meet new prospects and people and help get the word out there of what you're doing. We do that a lot. And, some of our biggest clients have actually been to a couple of events, and, they get to see what you're about. And actually, at that point, they're asking you for your help because they see that you're the expert. Again, it's helping build this trust and demonstrate, what you're talking about. So how would you build up the event or the seminar, and how would you attract people to it? Okay. I think when you are out there to help others because you want to help them and you don't expect anything in return, that's how you build your network. Yeah. So I had a lot of help with the event that we did in Birmingham, from my existing connections and mentors, and with regards to like introducers and potential people that we are going to be working with. Using your existing network helps massively when you've built real connections with those people. People want to help you if you've got that connect with them and you're doing it as well. I think it's like, I think I referred a few people to you, and you've got, not for anything. It's just because I think these two people should connect. Yeah. And I've done it in the past before. So when I've had events and I've gone, looking to do this, can you help me? People will help me and bring other people along for me because I've done it for them. Yeah. That's what I think has worked, as opposed, and again with clients as well, it's having the network, having the support, that people are there. They know I was there to help Hoxton and they want to be part of that because they want to help me. So I do feel within your professional network, it helps to have those connections. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely key to trying to get the people that are around you to help to bring them. If again, like, you were just starting off, or, this isn't something that you've done before, how would you go around building the network in the first place? What are the kind of steps that you would take if you were building a network from scratch again? I'm like, if it was now, I believe that the traditional, the breakfast networking's being like, not for me. Yeah. I do feel that having like the online presence, being putting yourself out there, being you. So when people meet you, they're like, oh, you're exactly how you are online.
Yeah.
People come to you, like people approach me. I don't go out and say, oh, can I come to people? Oh, do you want to come to this event? Or I know a client that needs help with this. I see that is there anybody that you can refer me to? The online presence, I believe, is the way to get started.
Yeah.
And just being, don't try and be somebody else. You can only be, you've got to be your authentic self, and don't go and like copy somebody else's profile and think that people are not going to know. Don't start doing AI posts.
That's we see a lot of that at the moment, don't we? All these AI posts on LinkedIn, and you can spot them a mile off, can't you?
And I think people just want to know the person behind the advisor or the qualification. It doesn't qualifications. Obviously, they're important, but I think in terms of knowing what you're about, values, are we aligned? That's how people connect.
Yeah, agreed. I think if I was looking to build up a online presence today again, to be honest, my online presence, I really started doing it a year ago in January.
And me, it's about that time, properly,
going out there and putting yourself out there and speaking to people. And I feel like you naturally, just the way everything is structured now, you want it immediately. But what you don't realise is actually a lot of the people, the big online presences, they started nearly a decade ago. And they've been building it up, and they've been consistent, and they've been focused on doing it, putting out things, like you said, that are true and real life to them, but also offering value. So, it's not like it's a take, constantly asking for things. It's, if you put out real value and people can see that you practice what you preach, and you're true, and you're actual real in what you say, then it might take a while to build up. But the other thing that I found really helped me excel, and I don't know if you, but I was adding people that I thought might on LinkedIn that I thought I wanted to connect with, or I found interesting as well. And it wasn't people that was putting out loads of content. It was, for me, it was financial planners. So I was adding financial planners because I was interested to hear what they say, interested to hear what they were doing, interested to hear what they were talking about. And again, I feel like that kind of focus on the people that you want to speak with. You're not just going to put something out and all of a sudden everything's going to come to you. It takes time. It takes effort and work to build it.
People can't think that you put a post up once a week and it's enough. It's got to be consistent. But also, you just never know. There's more people that are reading it than you think, than the likes. And I think that's the thing. So I remember I did a post a few days ago, and it's really strange in terms of recruitment. So I spoke about somebody I worked with in the past who didn't have the support. 11 months on, they've gone somewhere where they're getting the support and they are just flying. So just talking about a little bit about, you might be out there and thinking that this role isn't for me, but it might just be that you're not in the right environment. And I had, believe it or not, I had a paraplanner that reached out to me, private messaged me and said, thanks for putting this out there. I've been in this role for 15 years with this previous company, and I feel a bit like this. If I looked at her profile, I was looking to recruit a paraplanner, I'd never have thought that she would be somebody that would want to move from the existing firm. But you just don't know. And again, that in terms of recruitment as well, so, we've brought a few people in, it's those kind of things, what you're putting out there. People are like, oh, okay, I like you're talking, it's real talk, isn't it? It's real talk, real stories, you're sharing valuable things. So you just never know, at that point, who it's going to resonate with, that potentially, could be an employee or...
100%.
It helps in so many ways.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's getting your message out there and people seeing what you're really like as well. I find it's really interesting, kind of looking at it from a business point of view, that it actually helps me get rid of people that aren't like me. Or not aren't like me, that's wrong. That aren't
I don't think there's many people that are like you.
You know what I mean, but aren't
driven.
I suppose not driven. I suppose it's like Our values are different.
Yeah.
You know, like me
Value.
and you are very different,
Yeah.
but I would like to think, you know, values are very probably, you know, similar.
Yeah.
You know, JJ, his value, you know, the way he is very different to me, but his values are also
Yeah.
very similar. And I think trying to project your values out there and what's important to you and what you know, what you kind of want and how you want to be perceived, like you said, it's being your true and real self.
Definitely.
Like makes a massive impact. But
It's that energy as well, isn't it? It's infectious. You know, you want to walk into a room and like not be drained.
yeah, definitely.
Been there before. Haven't
Yeah.
you come out and you're like, oh,
God, that was tough work. Yeah.
But you can go into a room and come out feeling on top of the world.
100%.
And that's what you want to do. You want to create that. And you want
100%.
people around you like that because, again, it has that massive ripple effect, doesn't it?
It does. It's doing more of the things you like and, you know, doing less of the things you don't like. And actually a big what's the word I'm trying to use here? Like something that buzzes you up, or being around positive people and having that positive influence makes a massive difference to your state of mind.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, sometimes, like, you know, Monday morning, me and JJ will have a catch up, and just speaking to somebody that's aligned and you both want to do really well, it sets off the tone of the week. It really does, and it carries it through, doesn't it?
Definitely. And regular touch-ins and being around those people,
Yeah.
you know, you come off those calls, or you come off those meetings like, like if you're constantly feeling drained, like you said, or like this is crap, then you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
And also that's not a bad thing as well. Like, you know, I think
you got to recognise it.
Yeah. And also, like, you're doing them a disservice because you're there and you don't really want to be there. It's draining you. They're doing you a bit of a disservice because maybe you're not getting what you need.
Yeah.
So like, but it's not because, you know, there's any animosity or anything else like that. It's just not the right place for you, and that is completely cool as well. And I think it's about finding the places that you can exist and then exiting those ones that don't work for you pretty
100%.
quickly.
And I think, like you said, you can be different, but I think the values and alignment is important.
Has to be the same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
It's tough. So you've obviously mentored a lot. You know, you spoke about that power planner, and I almost see that as a piece of mentorship, and also what you're putting out as well. That, you know, helps people kind of go, you know, progress along their path, and they listen to what you say and they respect it. So, you know, what's the one trait that you look for, or what's the one trait that you think when you speak to someone that you think, oh, actually, you'd actually be really good at that, or, you know, like.
I think it's like you can have the most qualified person in the room, but if they haven't got that will and that drive and wanting to help people, they're not going to do well. Like you can learn and, like, you know, pass the exams, but if you haven't got that in you, you're not gonna do well in this
100%
role.
Yeah. The business development manager. So we used to employ business development managers that were just good at being business development managers. They weren't necessarily wanting to become financial planners. And then we used to be mythed as to why they would go off and do something completely different. This was a couple of years ago. And then we made the choice to actually only start employing business development managers that wanted to progress to become financial planners. It made them better business development managers because they were actually interested in what they were talking about. It wasn't just trying to get a meeting with someone. And, you know, actually at the back of it, we've had, you know, fantastic financial planners come out of it because they get that business development. Why is it that you feel that, you know, people that were great at business development build up a book of business and then stop prospecting and stop going out and trying to get new business for themselves or new clients? You know, what makes them stop?
It's just being complacent, isn't it? It's laziness. It's like, I've made it, but
Call
you
it
haven't.
what it is.
Because
I like that.
I think, like, you're doing a disservice to your client. If you think and there's many, isn't there, advisors that they've built it all up and they'll get that recurring income. But I noticed it a lot, again, when we, you know, previous firm, acquiring businesses and taking over their clients and gone, like, the clients think that advisor, I've known him for 20 years, been amazing, looked after us. And then when you look at it, they haven't looked after them. Yeah. I think that's the thing. Those are the complacent advisors because they're sitting on. And
go around, have a cup of tea, have a bit of a good relationship with them, but it doesn't actually mean that you're doing
no value.
You're
all
doing
they're
a
doing
great
is
job.
taking and there's so many out there. And then when you sit down and you go, right, okay, have you done this, we'll do this, and you do the job right, then they value what you do, then they see the difference.
Yeah.
But if they don't know any different,
they don't know.
They just think like
it's normal.
Yeah.
I've got a great financial advisor.
And that's the thing, isn't it? If you're doing a good job, people will tell others.
100%. And I think to continue going out and seeing new people, that keeps you sharp as well.
100%.
Like going out there and and speaking to new people. And one thing that we've seen actually, so one thing that we do at Hoxton is that with guys that are on the kind of the fee split model with us, we will obviously buy that income, that fee split back off of them.
Yeah.
So what it encourages them to do is not to sit on a big client bank. They can sell their clients as they go, sell the income as they go through, which means that they can keep taking on new clients, because that's another thing is a lot of people get into Smith, which is, well, I'm not going to take on any new clients, so I don't want the service to go down to my existing clients. But actually,
they're probably not servicing the existing ones
because they're stale, because they're not keep pushing forward and sharpening your tools and your skills by going out and speaking to people and finding new problems. And that could actually work for this client as well. Is a great way to do it. Yeah,
it's like fresh pair of eyes. You've got to treat that client as going back in, not just I know what they, I know all about them. I've known them for 20 years.
Yeah,
sit down and go through it. Don't just assume.
Yeah. 100%. It's make sure that you're constantly going back over these things and not just going around there for a tea and a biscuit. And just saying hi. So, but you've obviously worked in a male-dominated industry or profession, as we should probably call it, for a number of years. I mean, it's no. It's no secret that it is very, very male dominated. How have you succeeded in a male dominated industry? Because I think there's a lot of there's a lot of women out there that kind of look and say, well, financial planning isn't for me. It's full of old white men. Why should I get involved? We'll call it for what it is.
No, it's true. I think for me, I felt as a woman, and that I had to prove myself more. So I first started my kind of career was started off as accountant, worked my way up, mortgages for 5 years, and then into the financial advisor role. But I remember the first year, full year, being a financial planner at the West Brom Building Society. Not only being a woman, but I just wanted to be financial planning manager of the year.
Yeah.
So there was different criteria that you had to meet, as well as the business. There was advisors that had been there years, built kind of clients. But I knew what I needed to do to get there. And then I was pregnant as well at the time. But I didn't want that. For me, it was I'm a woman, I'm pregnant. Then I'm going to be a mom. Yeah. And I'm going to be treated differently. I don't want to be, career's over now because she's working she's gone down from 5 days to 3 days, because I went to 3 days. So I left. I remember having the picture taken. I did get financial planning manager of the year. Fat as anything. So eight, 9 months pregnant. But I was determined to do it because I didn't want to leave with people thinking she's coming back and she's not committed. And then again, after that, year on year, as financial planning manager, because in my mind I was I have to work harder than all my peers because I'm going to be seen differently, not just as a woman, but I think being a mum as well. So again, I was working 3 days, but those 3 days I was probably working harder than most of the ones that were there 5 days. So there's a lot of challenges, isn't there? I had to work kind of around my son. And I think, again, women with children, they kind of forgo their own careers, and sometimes that is the only way. But I think there's more female financial advisors now than there ever has been. I remember when I was at the West Brom, I was one of 2 women of 70 advisors, and I was the youngest. There's more now, but I think having like the networking groups, women, like that does help because it's bringing other people like together. You know, the whole LinkedIn, people. I remember again previously where I've worked, they wanted to just hire female, and it's good, like female advisors, to kind of balance it out. But I think, again, you can't just look at it as in, let's get loads of women, female advisors in. They've still got to have the drive and everything else. And I think, you know, yes, we need more women in the industry, but across the board, it's all the other traits as well. You can't just think that because, you know, it's a woman that we should hire somebody.
No, definitely. It needs to work, or they're never going to succeed anyway.
But both ways. So those are the kind of probably bigger challenges in terms of how, for me, it was like, how do people perceive me? Yeah. And just because I'm a mom, I don't want to feel like, you know, career over. Yeah.
Yeah, and you definitely shouldn't. And I think, again, that's because you're passionate about it and your passion shines through. You know, if you weren't passionate about it and it was just a job, then, you know, you wouldn't.
Would be like,
exactly.
I'd probably like go back on the counter because I don't want to have that. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And I think that's for a lot of people. It's actually finding that passion, what drives you, what you're actually really interested in.
It's having the right people, again, mentors and right people around you as well to support you. That does help very early on in your career as well.
Really helps, doesn't it? I mean, I was really lucky when I was in KPMG that I had, there was a partner called Michael, and also Tom, who was one of the senior managers, Anita, Alistair, as well, who really helped me progress and took a shine to me and pushed me forward. And, you know, that kind of...
Because they believed in you.
Exactly. And that goes a long way. And then when I went over and started becoming a financial planner, I had James and, you know, even Nigel, who
you'll
runs
remember those people because they're and I think that's what it is. Like, you know, when you're kind of new to the industry, someone has that belief in you. Yeah, that
goes such a long way.
Yeah, definitely.
So then the question is how do you get people to have belief in you? And for me, that is, you need to, like, I have no doubts in my mind when you started off at the bank, and then when you went to Nationwide, you were going above and beyond in absolutely everything you did because you were passionate about it. Also, but you were getting noticed as a result of that.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's why people do it. You can't expect to come into somewhere and then just coast. Like, you go above and beyond. You put yourself forward. You do more than everyone expects. People go, wow, actually, Bobby's really, you know.
Well, I wanted to work. When I was at the West Brom, I was like, people didn't want to work in Perry Bar branch, right? Because it was like, it was a dive, right? It was a dive. Nobody wanted to, or King Standing. Those were the two branches that didn't work well. They were the top performing branches. All of a sudden, people wanted to work there. Yeah. So, but I wanted to go in and not go into a branch that was already doing well. I wanted to go somewhere that wasn't doing well and turn it round so people, you get noticed, don't you? Yeah. And again, when I went like throughout Next Place, Nationwide, we did like help record number of clients because I wanted to show what I could do. And then if you have that belief, the people around you will have that as well. Yeah. And you've got it as an advisor. If you've got lead generators, you've got to tell them. You've got to kind of share how you are helping. So when they're picking up the phone, they have that belief that they're going to put that client in front of you and you're going to do a good job. So it's a bit of a chain, isn't it? Like you've got to tell others around you what you are doing in anything, the people that you work with, whether it's online or whatever.
And that's it. It's not kind of, and people get it twisted. Oh, it's self-promotion, you know, like, but actually, unless you're telling people what you're doing, they're never going to know. Like,
I think there's like a bit of a, you can tell, but you don't have to brag.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just having that fine line, isn't it?
No, exactly. Like, look at me all the time. But yeah, no, I get it. Well, look, that was really, really useful, Bobby, and I hope people that listening to the podcast also found that really useful as well. I've definitely taken a lot out of that, as always.
Thank you.
And as always, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Yeah, see you soon. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks very much,
Thank
Bobby.
you.
Cheers now.